It gives me a really big honor to introduce our guest speaker tonight. Gracie Kirzion is qualified for the California State Tournament in wrestling this year. When I was a coach 12, 13 years ago, we didn't have a separate girls and boys sports. If a girl wanted to wrestle, she had to wrestle against the boys. It got so popular, they opened up a new division of wrestling, CIF wrestling, just for the girls. Kind of like what they did with water polo several years before that. Getting to the state is very difficult. First of all, you have to get out of Moore League. Moore League is one of the most difficult leagues in all of CIF Southern Section just to qualify for CIF sectionals. To get to sectionals, then you got to get, if you go to sectionals, then you want to get to Masters Division, and that's a huge hurdle in itself. And then from Masters to qualify for state is just unbelievable. During my time, we had one wrestler that made it to the state tournament when I was there, and to have our girls to be the first state qualifier from Wilson, I am just very thrilled to introduce her. So I'll let her tell her story about this. Gracie Kirzion.
Hello, my name is Gracie Kirzion. I'm a sophomore at Wilson High School, and I'm on Wilson Wrestling. I actually did not think about joining Wilson Wrestling at all. It just showed up on my schedule the first day of freshman year.
How did that happen?
And I thought, why not try it? And so the first week I actually ended up falling in love with it because it challenged me and it pushed me to do things that I didn't think I could do before. And with help from coaches and assistant coaching staff and having a great atmosphere at Wilson and teammates help me grow and motivate and push myself in wrestling and in my sport. It helped me this year to go undefeated in league and win Moore League in first place, to get third place at a tournament in Capital Valley High School, to get first place at a tournament in Brea Olinda High School, as well as get fifth place in CIF Southern Section. And then in the Masters Division, I was able to get 8th place, which qualified me for state, and that is how I was able to go to day 2 of state.
Yes. What weight class do you wrestle? 115?
I wrestled at 145 pounds.
Were they your feet?
Never tell your man. Never.
If we had fines, you'd be fined $50 at least for that question.
What was your record this year?
My record was 21 wins and 6 losses.
You wear headgear, and second question, what's your training regimen?
I do wear headgear as well as a hair cap for my hair. And my training regimen, mostly I do weight training during the week, and then I take a run either on Saturday or Sunday early morning.
You say your wrestling just showed up on your schedule. Did you wrestle before? Or did you...
No, I've never wrestled before.
Called serendipity. Serendipity.
No brothers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no brothers.
What kind of personal values have you learned from wrestling?
I've learned not to give up when I am faced with a challenge and to always strive to do better. even though I have had a good season this year, I still am going to strive and push myself to be even better next year. And it's really helped me with responsibility and being able to work with others as well.
All right, very good.
All right, Stu, one more. What's your favorite takedown move?
My favorite takedown is probably going in with an inside tie and then doing a low single.
Show it on Ben.
It should also be noted that not only did Gracie do really well in wrestling, but we had 2 qualifiers for Masters this year. Seth?
Yeah, with our girls and our boys, we have qualified Masters and states.
The head coach of Wilson Wrestling, real quick.
Seth was my assistant coach, and when I stepped down, we promoted him up, and he has done wonders with the team ever since.
Yeah, so this year coming into Morley was different at the time because we had a smaller team and there were a number of teams that had been pretty well developed, but within a couple of years our numbers went up. We started going to a lot more tournaments, our team got better, and we've been in the mix, usually in the top 2 or 3 every year. If you guys are obviously familiar with Morley League, and there's a lot of competition with wrestling, but our team has been in it. And this year we had a couple of kind of fun records, at least for Wilson. But it was the first time we've had 4 league champions in quite some time. I couldn't find another time for that for boys and 4 for girls. So 8 league champions total for our varsity program, which was huge. It means we have really exceptional athletes. And then in CIF we had 2 placers in CIF, and then in Masters we had a presence there as well. And the beauty of it is that wrestling is a team that consists of 14 athletes, and this year on our boys team we are losing a grand total of 2. And on our girls team, we're losing 3 seniors, meaning that we're returning almost our entire team. So Wilson is definitely going to be having a presence next year because they're all coming back and they love it, especially given that the kids who've been placing were all underclassmen, sophomores and juniors, and even some freshmen. So we have a great program. But just with the girls program, Gracie being a major part of that, we started our girls program about 4 years ago with just a couple of girls, maybe 4 or 5 girls, and then one of the first goals we had as a coaching staff was to grow that, and so we doubled it and then doubled again. Now we have about 25 girls. Our score against Milliken, 3 years ago when they were the predominant girls team was something like 80-0. Then, as that continued, we now were, they had something like 40, we had something like 33, and we're looking to surpass them within the next year. At least that's our plan, to do that. And so we've been closing the gap really fast. Our girls team has a crazy presence and are beginning to see that ranking quality. Gracie officially will be ranked this year as one of the top 20, so it's extraordinary just to see how quickly they've all developed. But I definitely credit it to the hard work of our athletes, and it's a joy to work with. Yeah.
Question: when you start a young lady with no background, where do you begin?
First, you put them in the class without them knowing about it.
They have to know about it.
No, the first thing that we do if someone has no knowledge of the sport, which in our league, that's typically what we get as athletes. There's not a lot of feeder programs, and there are in other areas, other counties, especially in Central California. But here in Moore League, there's not a lot of experience. And so what we do first is we go over just the ethic of the work itself, like the mindset that you're going to have to be getting good, philosophically, how to think like a wrestler. Physically, you need your speed, your strength. And then we just begin teaching moves. It always starts in neutral, and we work our way down. Neutral to down position, referees to pins. And along the way, we just keep drilling it and drilling it. But for someone who has no idea how to do it, you're always just starting with the stance. You're getting those basics just to teach them really a new language, because it's not like anything you've done before. Everyone thinks they can wrestle until you wrestle, and this is complicated. There's a lot to it, and there's infinite possibilities. But Gracie,
except the natural that didn't know how to wrestle at all.
Except the natural. But Gracie's like a sponge. I say this all the time when we get compliments about how well she's done. She is the epitome of what coaches say when they say, hey, a lot of hard work will pay off. In the room, she works harder than everybody else, and it's paid off. She's always working. There's never any issues, and she's like, hey coach, can I, like even today, coach, can I go take an extra run? Like, yeah, take an extra run, like do it, get on it. And that kind of attitude is what has begun to be infectious on the team, where a lot of the kids are now following suit because they see where that's going to take you. So she's been a great example for the boys and girls. Yeah?
How many boys and how many girls do you have?
Right now, I'll qualify this statement with another statement. Last year, we were at around 100 on the team. Then I decided that we wanted to be sure that our team was all functioning in the right direction. So I talked to my coaches and had a little internal chat and decided to cut it down to 7, just get rid of 30 athletes, to have a chat with them, but move it down. And then what we did this year, right now we're right around 70, but what we did, it's around 25 girls and the rest are the boys. But what we did was bring it down, and now we give a lot of really focused attention to the athletes that we have. So it's allowed our coaching staff to have greater reach, and it's allowed the quality of the instruction to be exponential. And it's been good. We've had a great turnaround. So it was a choice, but it worked out. Question?
How many weight classes, and how many people wrestle per class every match? Because you got 70 kids.
So we have five teams, and what we do, the only team that can front a JV girls as well as Millikens, so we both have JV girls, not making up an entire team, but close. And so we have a girls JV, girls VAR, boys Frosh, JV, and varsity. And so at our meets, there'll be roughly 5 athletes wrestling per weight, all the way up, with a couple of gaps here and there. But
how many classes, weight classes?
14. Yeah, so it adds up. Yeah, lots of kids to keep track of, but we love it. And the discipline on the team, I wish you guys could come and see how hard they're working out right now. If you ever want to, let us know. If you ever want to work out with us, let us know.
It's all in the right way.
But the intensity of their discipline, the intensity of their discipline is extraordinary. They all work on their own right now. We're doing independent working, and it's just part of the wrestling way. You have a question?
Yes. What's the situation on scholarships to college for women wrestlers?
So, because of the competition in California is one of the top 2 hardest states to really lock in scholarships because there's so many kids that are competing. And when I mentioned Central California, there's kids that start this at 3 years old and are coming in to our same Masters and state championships with upwards of already 12 years behind them, potentially. So it's very difficult. However, there are scholarship opportunities we have. One of our senior boys this year has been offered a couple of different scholarships at some Division III schools. And then with our girls program going the route it's going, assuming Gracie continues and a couple of the other girls, we have a heavyweight that's also doing really well right now. Assuming they continue on that path, there's more opportunities for them, which is fantastic. So there are definitely opportunities, and we'll see where it takes us.
All right, thank you very much. Round of applause. Great job, Coach. I really appreciate it.